Hi and welcome to this Autoemotional presentation for what many of the people in the industry will refer to as a sleeper. What that means for those of you not in the know is that this car may pull up next to you, you might not recognize it. It doesn't have all the flash Ferrari and Porsche badges, but believe me, there is a monster lurking beneath this thing. 6 litre V8 rear wheel drive 2007 Chevrolet LUMINA SS. This thing is good for 360 brake horsepower, and it really is an absolute animal. It's essentially a Holden Commodore rebadged, which is of course Australia's equivalent to the almighty Nissan Skyline. This particular car, being a 2007, actually looks like a 2010, 2011 shape purely because it's in quite good condition. Now, the current owner having to sell it, and rather begrudgingly so as well, he spent upwards of about 50,000 dirhams in the last year of ownership on this vehicle, changing, I believe, hubs. It's got brand spanking new tyres on the thing. It really does stand out from all the other Commodores that, the Luminas that are gracing the streets here in Dubai and the rest of the Middle East. It's in a fantastic color combination of the gleaming silver. It's got all the correct badging and everything's in very good condition. There are a few cosmetic marks, of course, consummate with the age and the mileage of the car, but it really is in fantastic condition for what it is. It's one of those cars that really and truly, the only sort of comparable other vehicle that we can refer it to is the M5, purely because of the size and the grunt that you get from the V8 block on this machine and the huge space. Now, like we said before, it's not a flash vehicle in your face. However, just the tiny little V8 and SS badges, and more importantly, those quad exhausts, because anyone can badge up any car to look like anything, but those factory standard rear quad exhausts do let you know that this thing is actually something rather special. And being an SS, a genuine factory edition, it does in fact have a few telltale signs, being, for example, the rear spoiler, as well as a few other ancillary trim bits and bobs. You've got the mock carbon effect sill lining throughout the sides of the vehicle, and you can see the one-piece clear headlights do make for a nice front on the car. This is a big piece of kit, by the way. It might not come across so on video, but when you park it next to another vehicle, the dimensions of this car are actually very good. So for big guys like me, 6'2" and 125 kgs, believe me, this thing really does feel like it's made to fit me like a glove. In absolutely brilliant condition on the inside. Now, being Autoemotional, will always tell you what we find. There's a slight mark here on the steering wheel, of course, with the driver's resting their hand, probably to do with a ring or a watch. This plastic trim has come away very slightly. However, it's fully operational. Just a clip that's missing. The Momo mat's there as well. Don't worry, we'll be starting this V8 beast up, so you're going to get to hear this thing. Oh, have to pop the locks twice. A good little safety feature there, actually, on the Commodore. So, excuse me, Lumina. I keep referring to it as a Commodore because we're used to the Australian market vehicles as well. Electric mirrors, windows all the way around. Ice cold AC, by the way, on this car. Rear pull down armrest, always a nice little treat. Seriously, the space at the front is absolutely huge, and then on the rear, I mean, this should really be classed as a long wheelbase vehicle, in fantastic order with that black fabric trim. So even during the summer heat that we are having here now in Dubai, it's not going to absolutely cook you when you step in. I'll pop the boot also just to show you exactly how big this thing is, and of course, being a very large vehicle, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it with one arm, but ooh, gives you a free workout there. You've got the original mats, by the way, in the back, so again, another indication that the owner has taken very good care. Safety triangle, and original spare wheel, and tools at the bottom as well, very clear. And again, that third level high brake light, as well as that integrated rear demister, tinted windows all the way round, of course, letting you know that the vehicle's going to allow you to stay nice and cool. And in addition to that, let's start up this V8, which is always a pleasure to do. You'll notice all the warning lights come on as they should. System check goes through, complete, and absolutely no warning lights come on. This vehicle really has been taken care of by its previous owner. They are lots of bills and receipts, as you can see. We don't have time to go through all of them, user manuals, but lots of work done. Upwards of 50,000 dirhams on this car genuinely has been spent. It really is in that good condition. To go through some of the features, we're going to run the AC because it is just so hot out there today, which we don't normally do, but needs must. Illumination on the car, you can increase and decrease it depending on what your personal preference is. We'll put it up so you can have a look at all of the dials, but of course the lights are available on the auto function as well, and the front fog lights there as well. We'll pop that just so that I get some nice shots for you later on. Of course, you can lock the car centrally off the key. Steering wheel controls for the audio going through the search facilities as well as the volume as well. Power assisted steering. Now, this is a big old car, but there is lots of safety features on it, being the airbags front for the driver and the passenger. Again, those black fabric seats, very, very comfortable. Even in the summer heat, you're not going to burn yourself on the leathers that lots of cars do have the option for, and you really will prefer these. The SS logos throughout the vehicle letting you know this is something very simple and all about the V8 that's underneath. Now, everything about this car is quality. It doesn't have a large sat-nav screen and so on and so forth. It just has a standalone Blowpunk system, which is of course one of the best brands in the world. This is about quality, this car, and what lies underneath the bonnet. We'll get you a couple of shots of that, so not an issue as well. Ice cold AC, which again you cannot feel, but you're certainly going to be able to hear come through the vents, and the radiator has also just been changed, so part of that 50,000 plus dirham bill. Great audio. We're not going to play it so that we don't contravene any copyright issues, but again, ice cold AC that you can just put on at the touch of a button. You've also got the snow and to remove the traction control, which is not a good idea on a rear-wheel drive 6-litre V8, believe me, unless you really do fancy donuts. Of course, you've got the normal driving gears, lock and unlock the doors. You've also got the power windows, that being the drivers. Switch it across, that being the passengers. Everything fully operational. Car's just been cleaned, so we're not going to get it dirty by dropping the glass, but rest assured that all works perfectly well as well. Now, you've got a glorious engine note. From the inside of the cabin, you're not really going to be able to hear it that much, although you do have that nice sort of resonance coming through. But you can see just how free revving this V8 6-litre engine is. What I will do though is pop the door open and give it some beans, as we say in the UK, and you're going to be able to take a look and a listen as to what a 6-litre V8 with 360 brake horsepower actually sounds like. Oh, if you don't mind me saying, that's quite a nice sound in such good condition. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to lift the bonnet up with one hand while I'm filming, so I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to do that for you. Suffice to say that even the boot lid is quite heavy, so I know that the front trunk's going to be just as weighty. Everything on this car is built to do with quality. It is a very purposeful, very large, genuine 5-seater super saloon. There's no other way of describing it. It's a 2007 Chevrolet Lumina V8 SS with that 6-litre glorious 360 brake horsepower engine. These V8s are becoming rare and rare as everything becomes turbocharged and smaller cubic capacity, but we're still fans of everything big and bold. So a very, very lucky new owner is going to inherit a car that its current owner is begrudgingly selling. Any requests for test drive, any inspections are more than welcome. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you and taking the time to watch this presentation by Autoemotional.